Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances, featuring exclusive buyer speed figures and expert analysis and selections. Go to drf.com/best and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
The third of 3 stakes races on Saturday at Santa Anita is race number 10, and it's the $150,000 Snow Chief Stakes, a mile and 1/8 on grass. Kind of weird it's on grass because Snow Chief, the race for whom this race is named after, he never raced on grass. But this race was switched from dirt to grass in 2014, and it's named in honor of one of the best California breds that any of us have ever seen. And I'm referring to 1986 champion 3-year-old Snow Chief, trained by Mel Studi. His regular jockey was Alex Solis. And let's go back in time and take a look at the 1986 Santa Anita Derby. Snow Chief on the lead. He had that head low to the ground running style. And he basically crushed this day. The third place finisher, by the way, was none other than a horse named Ferdinand. And it turned out to be the ideal Derby prep for Ferdinand. This was Snow Chief winning the Santa Anita Derby in 1986. He was foiled in the Kentucky Derby 1 month later when a wickedly fast pace took care of all the front runners. And Ferdinand, with a masterful ride from Bill Shoemaker, scored the upset back in 1986. But Snow Chief would come back 2 weeks later and make amends by winning the Preakness. Anyway, that's a little history lesson. The Snow Chief Stakes, named after Mel Studi trained Snow Chief, one of the top Calbreds that any of us have ever seen. Anyway, the field for the Snow Chief Stakes on Saturday at Santa Anita, a field of 7, and probably no superstars in the field, but a good solid bunch, and maybe a 3-year-old that is going to be facing open company down the road and perhaps become an important horse. And I'm referring to number 2, Margot's Boy. He's a gelded son of Clubhouse Ride. He has won 3 successive races on the front end. He faces a good, decent field, including a filly. Now, a filly against boys? Who would have thought? Trainer Peter Miller does this not often, but he does it with enough consistency to suggest that he knows what he's doing. Yeah, Peter Miller knows what he's doing. And he put California Kook in this field against the boys, going a mile and 1/8 on grass. And one of the reasons why he did was because of California Kook's most recent start, and it was May 30th at Santa Anita in a kind of a nondescript Calbred filly mare turf mile. But when you take a look at the tape of California Kook rallying wide on the outside, losing ground, it didn't matter. Flavian Pratt knew what he had under him, and California Kook drew away to win by more than 3 lengths. A demonstrative victory, comeback victory for California Kook, who had been off since January when she uncorked this good, impressive turn of late speed. She ran her final quarter mile in under 24 seconds. She drew away. It looks like a mile and 1/8 will not be an issue for California Kook, a filly facing boys in the Snow Chief. But she can only win if she catches Margot's Boy. And Margot's Boy has been one of the, I think he's the second leading progeny sired by Clubhouse Ride, who's turned out to be a terrific California stallion. And Margot's Boy, 3 successive wins, including his most recent start, which was May 23rd at Santa Anita. And he did what he had done in his 2 previous starts. Make the lead, set the pace. It looked like at the head of the lane he might be in trouble, but Margot's Boy kicked into gear late. A front runner who finished his final quarter mile in 23-1. He refused to let the runner-up Indian Peak go by. This was an impressive win by Margot's Boy going 1 mile. Can he go a mile and 1/8? His trainer believes that's not going to be an issue at all because he watches this guy train every day. This is the type of horse that can settle on the front end and still provide that finishing kick. But one of the things that complicates the scenario for Margot's Boy in the Snow Chief this weekend is the presence of number 6, Bam Bam Again. Bam Bam Again is stretching out to 2 turns for the first time. He's a sprinter, and he's quick enough to make the lead. So Margot's Boy has a couple of options. Either go on with it and be hounded from the outside by Bam Bam Again, or concede the lead to the sprinter and sit second. Now, sitting second is something we don't know yet if Margot's Boy can do. The way that he relaxes on the front end by himself would suggest that he's probably going to be okay. But even his trainer, Craig Lewis, admits, until he does it, I'm not entirely sure. The mile and 1/8 is not an issue. The pace scenario could be an issue because if Bam Bam again gets crazy up on the front end and Margot's Boy goes after him too soon, this race could fall apart in favor of the Philly California Coot or the Northern California Shipper, number 1, Sacred Rider, who is in top form and has run well in Southern California before. In fact, he was 36-1 in the Cal Cup Derby on dirt early this year and missed in a photo finish. So Sacred Rider, even though based in Northern California, he has run well against Cowbirds in Southern California. He's my second preference. I believe that the Snow Chief can be won by Margot's Boy, and if he runs well, look for him to show up on the main track, possibly this summer at Del Mar in the Shared Belief Stakes. Lewis has options with Margot's Boy, the La Jolla, the Del Mar Derby, 2 grass races, but he's tinkering with the idea of maybe putting Margot's Boy on dirt and seeing what kind of 3-year-old he actually has. Going into the Snow Chief, he has a very good one. Margot's Boy, the horse to beat, Saturday at Santa Anita.